Oh, it's a nice day to have guests arrive at the cabin. It was 20 below this morning, Fahrenheit. It's warmed all the way up to a balmy 9 below. And Greg and his buddy just skied in the 3 miles in the vehicle, so of all things we can talk canoeing. Those steaks that Greg brought in were so big that Brad couldn't even finish his, so the Gray Jays have been eating pretty high on the hog here, picking up the pieces. My 2 tame Gray Jays they're gone now. I really miss my bold and finicky one. He had such a good character, but now I got to try to get these new ones tamed down. It's going to take a while. I think they're pretty skittish. Really a cold morning this morning. In fact, this is a 2-pot morning. Still 30 below outside, so sit around and do a few chores inside. One of the chores I've been working on since when I come up here, I knew that the early January the nights are long, so I saved a few projects to work on inside the cabin in the nice warmth. And one was I retrieved a lot of this white metal off an old stove at a Homestead, and I've been working on trimming out my kitchen area. This is always a real dark corner back here. I was able to brighten that up. It'll be a lot easier to keep clean and really reflects the light really nice down here in my kitchen. I always like incorporating things from some of the old homesteads. So I wanted to add a shelf to my kitchen, so I took a plank off an old fallen in cabin home over about a mile away. This cabin was unique in the fact it was made from planks, which was really strange. Probably put tar paper on the outside, but this old plank has probably been weathering for 80 or 90 years and still pretty good shape, but brought a little history over to the cabin. While I've been holed up here in the cabin, in fact right now it's still 30 below outside Fahrenheit, been able to evaluate some of the changes I made last fall when I put that foundation under and raised up the cabin. My snow melt operation worked out really well. I've got my stone slab underneath the stove now that raised it up and makes a nice place to slide in a basin of snow to melt down gradually overnight. Keeps me stocked up on good water. I put crinkly foil there on that, out in front of that stove, and you can see the fire reflecting on that. It kind of gives a little night light and a little atmosphere to the cabin. And I had some extra white metal from an old stove I took apart up at a Homestead after I fixed up my kitchen corner, and I used it over where my batteries go, and it'll help lighten that up a little bit so I can work over there a little easier. This is another evening project. Scott gave me the idea of turning this old stove front from the Homestead Homestead, it's a few miles away, into a corner cupboard inside the cabin. So this evening I'm going to start working on that project and see what I can fashion out of it. Wow, it's up to 4 below Fahrenheit. It's time to make a ski out to the Durango 3 miles away to pick up some more supplies. Can't waste a good opportunity on a balmy day like this. It's going to be a nice ski out to get those supplies. When Greg and Brad skied in with their packs on the toboggan and sled, it's like they had wings on there. They really widened out the path. It's nice and hard. I won't have any trouble bringing my sled in with my propane and gasoline at all. Wow, what a day. With that sun shining bright, my solar panels ought to be charging really well today. Batteries ought to be in good shape tonight. This is the old cabin where I picked up that plank to make my new kitchen shelf. Pretty well gone, but bedstead still there. Different things laying around. There's an old car body over here that speaks of a day when this was a more populated area. The snow is deep enough that the deer really appreciate traveling on my trail. You can see how they're going through their bellies as they cross the trail, but on the trail their feet hardly sink in. This is the Durango that I come out to pick up my supplies at. Sometimes some people understand saying I'm going to Durango, Colorado for my supplies, but this is the Durango. All loaded and ready for the return trip. 3 miles back to the warmth of the wood stove, but not bad out here. Well, the weather's finally warmed up a little bit. We're up to about 8 above Fahrenheit. I've been here in the North Country for the last 12 days, but time to head home to Illinois tomorrow morning. I'm hoping that about 4 o'clock in the morning when I load up the toboggan and head out to my vehicle that it's only about 12 below Fahrenheit. That'll be 25 below Celsius. By the way, all these Celsius Fahrenheit conversions, you know, they go away at -40. Matches right up. 40 below is 40 below.